This is a demonstration of the current state of the RCM online database. In the next version we should have a log on screen. When that's active it will place you onto this screen, which is the summary database. This displays information which has been recorded. Each horizontal line represents 1 day of operation for one vehicle. We have up to 12 regions defined, so we can see the roughness within those 12 regions. They could be a long or short section of road or an area of particular interest. For each region we have a roughness value, and for each region the column represents the variation of roughness over time. We can see that graphically if we go to region 3 and we click the small chart icon underneath the title. We will get a chart display which shows the roughness over time. Depends on whether vehicles have run through these regions. Having instrumentation on haul trucks would give a more representative value. At the moment they're on fairly arbitrary test vehicles, so the display we see here would probably display more logically for the actual haul trucks. This is a separate window, so we exit that by closing the window. We have at the moment 77 days of data. Although in the current state of development we typically have one vehicle running per day, there are situations where we have more than one vehicle running. So ideally we just need the one line of data to do anything practical. We do have a search function, so we can pick search. We can then either specify a single index between that 1 and 77, or we can select a particular date, and we know there's data for the 1st of the 6th, 2021. We can also select a vehicle identification code, but we'll leave that at the moment, and we hit search, and that now goes through the database information and just gives us the information relevant to the search data we have. And so for the 1st of the 6th we had DSO5 running, and we have this sequence of roughness values for the various regions of interest. We also have what's termed a KML file, and this is the information displayed if we choose to view the information graphically on Google Maps. We can do that by selecting the Sat Map button. This will then give us a Google Earth display. We can bring that in a little. We can go to full screen and gives us an impressive satellite image. We do actually have data displayed as markers on the map, but we have to zoom in to get more reasonable displays of that data. This might be a parameter we can adjust to get better results, but at the moment that's just the way the display works. This thing gives you, according to colour, the roughness of the road at various points. To exit from this, there is if you move your cursor to the top of the screen, there is a exit button. There was an exit button. You can also get out of it by pressing the escape key. That gets you back to the small display, and then we exit that screen to get back to the summary display. We also have an ability to export data, so if some of the data displayed is of particular interest, we're able to export as a PDF file, for an Excel spreadsheet, as a comma separated variable file for possibly custom use, or display it straight out to the printer. We also have an option to view this raw data. So the summary file has processed information, one set of data per day. If we go to the raw data, we open up a new screen. This is data from a much larger database. And this is every second of operation for each vehicle we have recorded. We display it 100 lines at a time at the moment, but we have 459,000 records so far, and this could become much, much larger when in operation. For this data, we have the basic position, velocity, roughness. We have a flag for water if it's a water tanker dropping water. At the moment, the Google Maps displays for this are not active. They were active, but I'm currently working on those to improve them. But if you pick PSD, you'll get the roughness display overlaid on a Google Maps aerial photo or satellite photo. We also have a speed display. We can have a heat map. The heat map is there mainly because the original tutorial information displayed a heat map, and it proved to be quite an interesting display of information. We will also have a water tap option to show where water was dropped. We don't have any data from the vehicle with this signal active yet, but once it is, we will add it. And we have a general test button. I know the heat map works at the moment. PSD and speed, once I get one of them working, both of them will work. So that's where the development is occurring at the moment. It's really just how we manipulate the JavaScript code to display this information over a Google Maps display. We also have the same export functions. You just need to be careful in this particular database because it has so much information. If you're not careful in picking a small subset of interest, you could end up with a huge document coming out. And that's the basic status of the online databases. Thank you.